Hey everyone, Bright2J back with an all-new Yay Toys Plus, and today's review is going to be on the MAFEX number 53, Batman version 3.0. This is the third and hopefully final version of this figure. There have been two prior to this. One was floppy, one was less floppy, and this one has been superior. So with that being said, let's open this guy up and check it out. And this is 3.0, and I have to say, third time's the charm with MAFEX. And honestly, I like it better than the Figure Arts one. I mean, Figure Arts did a great job, and I'm not going to knock them, but MAFEX has them beat. Especially, they've been going nuts. They got the whole Dark Knight trilogy coming. You know, things that are out, things that are coming out. It's just wild that they're actually going that far. I mean, it is 10 years since The Dark Knight, so maybe that's why. But, I mean, who knows? I just like the fact that we're getting a Nolan trilogy stuff. And, you know, little of everything, too, which is pretty great. So yeah, with the figure, because I can ramble and talk Batman all day. Batman's my favorite DC superhero. Definitely my 3 favorite Nolan films. Because I think... Anyway, like I said, I can ramble. So here's Batman. And this figure is just spot out amazing. Definitely the best of the MAFEX Batmans. Part 1, or version 1, was floppy, and it was different. He was only like the second figure they've ever made. Version 2 was their 7th figure, and now you got this one is number 53. So they had all that time to improve on their quality. One thing that's definitely noticeable, the face looks a lot like Christian Bale. I mean, it's hard to see it in a cowl, but I see the chin. I see the face. It's there. And I could see the eyes, especially the last couple of weeks now. I've been just rewatching bits and pieces of The Dark Knight. And, you know, seeing Batman, I'm like, okay, yeah, they have this nailed. Definitely a change is the shoulder pads. The first and second version, these were attached to the arm. Now they're on a hinge. And they took a page out of Figure Arts, and I think that's pretty cool. And there's actually texture on the shoulders. So yeah. Another cool thing, they added the gunmetal look to the outfit there. It's slight, but it's there. You know, like, depending on where you catch it in the light, definitely in there. Another neat trick, this piece here. That's what happens when you cut your nails and then you record. This lifts up, and there's a piece that comes with, I want to say, Bruce Wayne coming out, that you could like make him where he doesn't have the cape for the beginning of the scene in Hong Kong. So that's pretty cool. And it's also going to come with an additional accessory, but I'll get into that when I talk accessories. This texture all around this figure that I think is really great. And another thing they got rid of the hole in the back of the figure too for the flight stand. They kept the flight stand. It's the same exact, but I'll show you guys that in a little while. Yeah, the utility belt's done really nice, too. They added more detailing. I think it's really great. The cape has me blown away, because it's the proper length for this figure. The bendy wires there gives the windswept style. You know, and like Figure Arts, they tried, but it wasn't great, you know, but it was nice to see fabric with that company, because those hard shell capes drive me nuts. Yeah. As for the articulation, you can get the head to go all the way around, not back super far because it might pop off, but with the head and the neck working together, you get sad Batman. You know, just kind of like that scene where Rachel blows up, you know. I mean, spoiler alert, it's been 10 years. Let's see. So the arms go out that far without popping these off. These can pop off, just be careful. I mean, it can go back on. It takes a second, but, you know, it's there. You do get the up and down motion in the shoulders, and it can wiggle around. You can get the arms to go all the way out. They can go all the way around, but you risk also popping these off. He does have a bicep swivel as well as double jointed elbows. He does have full wrist rotation, and you could actually pop the hand out and turn the peg around to get side to side motion as well. Decent diaphragm, as well as really good waist. You know, get him doing a little bit of a dance, you know. He can kick forward, kick back, legs drop down, as well as thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and really, really good ankle pivot, as well as toe hinge articulation. So yeah, Batman has a lot of articulation, and MAFEX did not disappoint once again. My right foot is a bit loose, but that's nothing a little nail polish can't fix. So yeah, I'm going to show you all the accessories that he comes with, because this being version 3.0, I guess they felt like they didn't need a 4.0, at least not yet, and they wanted to give you everything, just being that this is the Batman Trilogy version, well, more so Dark Knight and then Rises, it comes with things that matched that outfit. Because the Batman Begins costume was different, as we know, because it was Begins and then the beginning of Dark Knight. They wanted to make sure they covered all the bases. I just want to show you guys a quick comparison between the Figure Arts version, the 2.0, and the 3.0. 1.0 is at my mom's house. I don't have him here in the apartment, and I do apologize. So Figure Arts, all the way on the left, has the most accurate utility belt, but the cape, which is a nice step in the right direction for Figure Arts finally having cloth, the figure was great, but it still had some issues. My shoulder pads popped off pretty easily. I felt like the gauntlets were a little too stiff. In fact, mine chipped a little bit, and I'm kind of bummed. But all in all, Figure Arts was a great figure. 2.0 in the middle, it was a step in the right direction, considering that this was their 7th figure ever. He still fell apart, but it was cool that you had an alternate Bruce Wayne head. You know, it was nice that, you know, you get a little bit more in the box, but, you know, it still had issues. The arms popped off, and, you know, just looking at this one versus 3.0, there's a big difference between number 7 and number 53. You know, like, they had a lot of time to resculpt and redo, you know, the figure into the proper Batman. So yeah, that's just, you know, quick comparison on them. And if you look at the utility belt on 3.0, there's less black in the center. But definitely nicer than 2.0. So let's get rid of 2.0. And then if you look at the two of these side by side, two of the better Batman figures ever from the Nolan trilogy. Definitely, you know, it's definitely worth getting both of these. I'll put a link in the description for, you know, my review on Figure Arts Batman. Both great figures, so just, you know, I want to do a side-by-side comparison of those. All right, now let me talk accessories. The first accessory I want to talk about is the flight stand, because MAFEX gives you one for every single figure ever. You can take this piece out and put it here or put it here. I tend to use them in the center when I do use them. I haven't used them as much, but these are good, especially like with Marvel Legends. Phillips head screws, so 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 on the top. Articulated, in all those different ways that you can get your Batman or later on your Marvel Legend into the proper way that you want to put them up in the shelf or whatever. So yeah, I love that they still give these. And the MAFEX ones are always my favorite. Figma, they're good. Mezco I use for Mezco. But the MAFEX flight stands are always been #1 for me. And they're so lightweight and durable too. But we're not reviewing a flight stand, we're reviewing Batman. So let me put this down. As for Batman's accessories, they want you to be sure that this is the proper Batman, and that when you recreate a scene from either The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises, that you have the right amount of accessories. So let's talk, I guess, hands first, huh? So naturally, Batman comes with default fists, which, are great for when you need Batman to throw punches. But when you want to have them displayed any other way than just default fists, you get a set of these guys here. These are the, let's see, where's the other one? Yeah, there we go. There's a lot of hands on my table here. So you get a pair of these guys here, and that's a set of the throwdown hands, and I think that's really cool. Really nicely sculpted, nice texture on the bottom, and you get like the gunmetal gray on the knuckles. Really, really good. A set that I think is really cool that they added, especially if you still have your MAFEX Bat Pod, you get the throttle holding hands. And that is so nice of them to include this on this version. And I wish I had my Bat Pod here. It's also at home in my old closet in Staten Island. I guess, it's an excuse to go home and see Mom. I don't need an excuse. But you know what I'm talking about. It's nice that they include these. And next trip up there, I'm going to go home and take my Bat Pod, because now I really want to pose them on that thing. So yeah, also with the gunmetal and the nice texture, looks really, really good. You do get you get 2 pairs of trigger fingers. You got a wider one and a thinner one, or more narrow one, I should say. You get this guy here, also textured, also gunmetal, really nicely sculpted, and that's built for this guy here, because, the sticky bomb gun from The Dark Knight, which I thought was a great accessory. I love that, in the movie. I do like the fact that this is sculpted like each rivet has been painted. And then on the other side there, you got the LCD and the nozzle to, set the timer. What I like to do too is that with the other hand, if I can find it, when I pose them with the gun, you'll see it later. I'll take a picture. There'll be a picture either the start or the end of this video. I put this hand on, and I have him gripping it perfect. And it looks really good when it's on there. I'll show you guys, definite. But also, I want to show you guys how nicely sculpted again that this looks. Really, really great. Now, you get this accessory for with the Bruce Wayne, and that's going to be where it's folded up and not together, from that to recreate that scene from Hong Kong. So that's pretty cool. I kind of hope we get a Mr. Lau. That would be great. We're getting all other characters, so why not a Lau? It'd be perfect. I want to recreate that scene. Now, Batman, of course, wouldn't be Batman without his grapple gun. Do love the way it came out. Little on the rubbery side, which is fine. It's not stiff plastic, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. And one cool thing that they added with this Batman, unlike the other MAFEX ones, you now have storage for Batman to put his gun on his utility belt and, you know, make it more screen accurate. Do love the way that looks. You get a pair of, like I was saying before, you get a pair of the wider trigger finger, and that's for the grapple gun, but it's also for this guy here. And if you guys seen The Dark Knight Rises, you guys know that he had the EMP blaster. And I think it's the same one that we got twice before. There's that translucent plastic in there, although I think the last one it was silver in the middle. I don't remember. Sculpted plastic, looks pretty good. The hand fits on there really nice. And yeah, that's really awesome. You get a pair of Batarang holding hands, and then you get, of course, Batarangs to put in said hands. And then this holds pretty good. Let me show you a closer look at the Batarang. The Batarang is sculpted perfect to the point where it looks like it was made at home on a grinder, and it was if you watch Batman Begins. It's flat on one side, it's raised on the other side, and it looks really, really nice. Now, if you have plush carpeting, be careful. You don't want to lose these. You do get 3. When I do this, when I do display this, I'm only going to use 1 at a time. And then, of course, you get alternate heads. You get this head here. This is the Screaming Christian Bale head. I think that looks pretty good. And then one more really cool accessory for heads. The sonar. Just like a submarine, Mr. Wayne. You know, like, I think that's one of my favorite accessories, to be honest. And it looks so nice on them. If you see this figure in stores, definitely grab them. I got this figure at Image Anime in the city, but you could also get them on BigBadToyStore.com. This figure is so much fun. I'm really glad to see MAFEX is stepping up their game, because I thought they were an okay company back in the start, and the fact that they've only improved makes me really happy. I love this figure. I mean, it's hard to knock figure arts out of the top spot for Nolan stuff, but I think this figure did. But it's a subtle trade-off. I mean, you have the utility belt versus the cape, you know, the shoulder pad difference. It's really, really minor, but the fact that this one has figure arts beat, I'm just blown away. Yeah, so that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for helping me get to 250, guys. We're getting there, you know? I'm still small, but we're growing. So big shout out to all of you guys for liking and sharing, subscribing. It really means a lot. I also want to give a shout out to my boy XManny87 for having his pick shown at the Hasbro event in San Diego. He was not at San Diego Comic-Con, but he texted me saying, "Oh my god, dude, my picture was just shown at the Hasbro event." So I'm so proud of that kid. You could follow him on Instagram too, and of course, if you want to subscribe to his YouTube channel, he's working on something interesting, and you'll see. I'll be sure to share some stuff once it's all set up. So Manny, proud of you, kid. All right, so that's about it, and I will have a lot of picks, and I will see you guys pretty soon. I'm working on it. Have a lot of stuff ready. My schedule's been a little funky, so I do apologize. I know I kept saying I'm going to keep pumping them out. I'm doing my best. I wish I could record every day, but unfortunately with my schedule, it's kind of hard. I do got some pretty cool stuff coming. I am going to be working on my late to the party videos. I have a lot of older figures that have been out for months or, 6 months or greater, but I feel like people still want to see other people's takes on them. So I will be working on my late to the party stuff. yeah, so thanks again so much for watching. You could, of course, find this video on my Facebook page, which I really need to update, is Yay Toys Plus. And you can eventually find these videos on innercitygeeks.com. I will be posting a ton of stuff up there over the next couple of weeks. We've all been kind of on hiatus with stuff. Life gets in the way, but we do promise to return. Our podcast will be back. My videos will not stop, and I will see you guys really soon. Also, please, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Yay Toys Plus on Instagram. One word. And thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Peace.